This one's about printing. We'll go backstage in the print area where there's a big print button. We'll also be able to adjust the number of copies printed fairly easily. We'll cover changing the default printer. We'll take a look at changing the printer settings directly. We'll see the print preview back there, and there are two adjustments to the print preview where you can display the margins and adjust the margins and zoom a little bit in on the print preview. I have a worksheet set up with some industry statistics for stocks that are traded on the NASDAQ. I don't know what year this is for. It really doesn't matter for this purpose. We want to take a look at the print settings. The easiest way to get backstage to the print area is press Control and then P. The print button is selected by default. To send this job to the printer, left-click the print button. To the right of the print button are the number of copies that you can print. There's a spin button that you can adjust the number of copies with, or you can input a number directly into the field. Below that is the printer. There's a green check on my printer icon because this is the default printer. There are other print choices with this drop-down, and there's a way to change the default printer, but you have to get outside of Excel to do it. To change the default printer, left-click the Start button, then the Control panel, and then under Hardware and Sound, View Devices and Printers, and I have a list of the printer options. To change the default printer, right-click a printer, and then left-click Set as Default Printer. Below that is the printer properties. If you left-click that, you'll get a dialog box that enables you to adjust your printer settings directly. These printer settings have to do, of course, with my specific printer. Your printer settings, unless you have the exact same printer, coincidentally, will look different than this. I'm going to close that. These printer settings, by the way, that you can directly change, can also be changed via Excel in the settings that we'll cover in a subsequent movie. To the right, we have a print preview. And since I didn't designate any specific area, I've got an active worksheet. Excel defaults to display the information on the print job in a portrait orientation with as many sheets as it takes to print out the content of the active worksheet. That number of sheets currently is 6, and I can page through each of the 6 pages and take a look at what they will look like if I print them out. I'm going back to number 1. Now, without changing any printer setup, this is what I get. I get 6 pages of a document that I probably would want to have on one page if it's readable, if I don't have to shrink it down so much to get it on the page that you can't read it any longer. We'll also find out how to do that in a subsequent movie. So we have the print preview. There are 2 adjustments that can be made to the print preview. Over here, I'll left-click the first one. That'll enable the margins to be displayed, where you can then grab these handles and change the margins and sort of get a view of what that's going to do to your print job in real time. And the other setting is a zoom setting. When you click on zoom, you may get scroll bars to allow you to scan through the entire document. Now, the zoom setting is fairly minimal. It's fairly subtle. It does zoom in a bit, but not much. So that's an introduction to the print area. Control P will get us back here. We can print using the large print button, change the number of copies, adjust our printer settings directly. If need be, we can change our default printer by going outside of Excel, left-clicking the Start button, Control panel, Devices and Printers, right-clicking the printer we want to make the new default printer, and selecting Make this the default printer. We can page through our print preview. We can display the margins and adjust the margins, and we can zoom in on the print preview panel a little bit.